Recording in progress. Okay. So guidelines basically is this lines which is going to help us to practice and perfect the art of calligraphy. So basically the guidelines in brush pen calligraphy is three types. First one being the baseline. Second one would be ascendant line. And the third one is descendant line. Baseline is the one where all the letters start and end. So I will mark the baseline as X. So letters like A, C, E, I, O, and so on. They all start and end and contain in the baseline itself. The second line would be ascendant line. The line above the baseline is ascendant line. Ascendant line can be n number of lines. If I take this as A1, they can be A2, A3, and so on. So letters like B, which starts from the baseline, it will touch the ascendant line and end in the baseline. So basically, the alphabets which start in the baseline, touch the ascendant line and end in the baseline will be consisting of ascendant line letters. This is first one and the second one. And third one would be descendant line. So if this is my baseline, if this is my baseline and the line below the baseline would be descendant line, D1, D2, and so on. Alphabets like G and J, Y, etc. They all come in the descendant line letters because they start from the baseline, touch the descendant line, and end in the baseline. So this is the basic understanding of baseline. So whenever you make lines to start with the script, all you have to do is make a baseline. Okay, make a baseline, make a ascendant line, and make a descendant line. So basically there'll be three lines, X, A, and D. This is the starting point of our session. Next, we'll be moving on to basic drills. Drills in the sense, just a warm-up exercise. So just place your whole arm over the table. And while doing this, make sure your whole arm rotates and not only your fingers. Okay. First, I'm going to scribble oval. It can be, your oval can be slant or up straight. It's up to you. It's just this. It need not have a perfect shape.
Ma'am, I have to do this with pen or the brush pen?
Pencil. Preferably pencil. I am using a pen so that it will be visible to you. You can also make it slant. It's just scribbling. This will be the first drill. It need not have a perfect shape. You just scribble as you wish. Okay. The next one would be connecting ovals, which is basically like this. Even this need not be perfect. Just make sure your oval intersects with the previous oval. Even this, you just scribble it. It need not be perfect. Just a warm up exercise. Okay. All right. The third one would be a very simple one. First, make a big column like this, and then divide the column diagonally like this. Okay, so you will get a huge part here and a lesser part here. Same, just scribble the oval from bigger oval to smaller oval. Don't use your fingers. Use rotate your whole arm. And when it comes to the smaller area, you can use your fingers. This is my diagonal line. Don't worry, it need not be perfect. Just a warm-up exercise. Here, we'll start from small ovals to bigger ovals. So, finger movement and gradually full arm movement. Okay, please. Now we'll move on to doing basic strokes. For that, we'll be needing a guideline sheet, which is nothing but oh, 1 second. Nothing but 3 lines: baseline, ascendant line, and descendant line. I'll give you 2 minutes to draw the lines. Like just draw first row, and then after that you can draw the second row. Make sure all the 3 lines are of the uh, same height. Now we'll be using a brush pen.
How many specific size or like
No, 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 no,
centimeter
no,
to 1 centimeter?
no specific height, but make sure all the 3 lines are of the same height. Okay. So before we start with the uh, basic strokes, just give you a small introduction about brush pen and how to hold a brush pen. So keep your brush pen in 180 degrees, like just make it in a sleeping line. Then take your brush pen like this. Hold your brush pen with your middle finger on the right side. Okay. On the right side, middle finger, and on the top, index finger, and on the left, thumb finger. You can also rest your um brush pen on your middle finger, or you can also hold it. It is up to you. But I always rest my brush pen on the middle finger like this. So this is how I do. And don't keep your brush pen too near or too far. Just hold it somewhere in the middle until you get comfortable with the brush pen. Once you get comfortable with the brush pen, you can hold it however you feel comfortable. But until then, it's better to follow this procedure. Okay. So now we'll try doing thick stroke and thin stroke. Okay. So if you keep your brush pen like this in a sleeping line manner and apply pressure on it, you'll get a thick stroke. Don't keep your brush pen like this or like this. Just keep it very as low as possible and then apply pressure. You will get thick strokes. Okay. So thick strokes should always be from top to bottom. All the down strokes will be thick. Down strokes are always thick. Okay. So this is a down stroke and we are making it thicker. You can just randomly make it. There is no height difference and all that. It's just a warm up. But make sure when you start, it should be of the same line. When you end, it should be of the same line. In the sense, it should not be like this. It should be like a box.
Ma'am, I'm not getting exactly the box. I'm getting it like upper side, it's diagonal, as well as the
Can I
lower.
can I see it? That's completely fine. With practice, you'll get it. That's
Okay.
completely fine.
Thank you.
And also, your script can be slant also. It is totally up to you. But I make my script in a straight manner. Okay? So this is downstroke. The next one would be upstroke. Upstroke is very thin. So don't apply any pressure. Okay. Without applying any pressure, make a stroke. Make sure the stroke is of the same volume throughout. It should not be like this or like this. Maintain the pressure throughout. Go from bottom to top. Don't go from top to bottom. After this, I'll be using my comfortable brush pen. I won't be using DOMS because I don't feel DOMS is comfortable for me. I will be using another brand. It's called as Oh. It's this one. It's a bit similar to DOMS, but yeah. Okay, now we'll try the same thing with our guidelines. Okay, so this is a guideline. I have marked baseline, ascendant line, and descendant line. We are going to make the downstroke from ascendant line to descendant line. Okay, full pressure, full pressure, full pressure. Always remember the pressure is the same throughout. Okay. All right. Next one would be upstroke. Same thing, baseline, descendant line, and ascendant line. We're going to make the upstroke from bottom to top. All right. So give your full concentration, make it a straight line without any pressure difference. Don't give any pressure also. It's okay if it is shaky. With practice, you'll get it. Okay. After this, we are going to make the next stroke, which is called as underturn. which is very similar to U. I'll again mark my baseline A and D. Okay, so the undertone is very similar to U. So what I'll do is I'll make an outline of U. I'll be using X and D to make the U, but in general, undertone lies only on the baseline. Since our baseline is very small, it won't look good. So I'll make the undertone with two lines, that is X and D. Okay, or you can also make this as X to avoid confusion. Okay, make a U. I mean, make a rough draft of U. And if you observe closely, this U will have a oval shape in the middle. Okay, and it won't be sharp. It won't be pointed at the end, and it will be equal. When I divide the U into two, it will be equal. So here, the left side of the U is down, right? So we'll be making this side of the U thicker and this side of the U thinner. Okay, let's try. Observe carefully. Full pressure, gradual decrease in pressure, with no pressure, go up and finish. If you notice it, at the center of the U, there will be no pressure. At the center of the U, I'll stop applying the pressure, and with zero pressure, I'll go up and I'll finish the U. One more time. Full pressure, gradual decrease in pressure, no pressure, stop. Understood? This is undertone. Okay. So the next one would be overturn. Uh, the pressure difference looks great. The third underturn looks amazing. You have to practice more to get that exact shape. But for a beginner, it's very neat. Good job. Okay,
Ma'am,
the
but
next one.
I can't do it continuously in a go.
Yeah, that's fine. For that purpose only, I have made you do the basic drill, the scribbling part. This one
Right.
we do it because to increase the muscle memory and to strengthen our hands so that it doesn't make a mess or it doesn't make the script very shaky. If you practice the drills more and more for at least half an hour each day, you'll you'll get every stroke perfectly.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome. The next one is overturn. Overturn is N-like structure, which is reverse of this U. Now I'll create a draft of N. It's the same U, but the mirror image of the U. You can also create a draft using your pencil. Here, this part goes up. So this will be thin. And this part comes down. So this will be thick. Zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure, stop. One more time. Zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure, stop. This is overturn. Fourth one is perfect. It's very perfect. The pressure difference, the formation, it looks amazing. Your fourth underturn. I don't know from which side because I can see the no, before that. Yes, that one. Okay. The next one is a bit tricky. It is called the compound curve. It's a curve which has both underturn and overturn in it. Again, I'll mark A, X, X. So I'll start with overturn. Starting with overturn, stopping halfway, and from here I will create a underturn. Understood? It's a overturn until halfway. From other half, making an underturn. And make sure these two will be equal. So this goes up. So zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure, and zero pressure. And here, just make a slight curve to make it a bit more interesting. I'll do it in brush pen. Zero pressure, sorry, zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure, zero pressure, stop. Here I have messed up the formation. Do it one more time. Yes. You can see I've given a bit curve in the center to make it a bit more interesting. If you feel it difficult, you can always use your pencil to draw an outline and then trace it out with your brush pen. This is called compound curve. The second compound curve looks good. It's a bit pointed, but then with practice you'll get it. The second compound curve is very neat. Okay. The next one is oval. Oval is very, very, very tricky, but yet simple. So for oval, we'll make an outline. Okay. I will mark A, X, X. We'll give an outline of an oval like this. Here, the oval starts from here. So, zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure, zero pressure. So, on the right side, only in the middle part, we'll have thick stroke. The rest of it will be thin stroke. I will create a draft here. Start from the center and join it here. One more time. It's a bit pointed at the top. It should not be pointed. You can always create an outline. So starts from here. Only in the center part of the right side will have a thicker stroke. Other than that, everything is thin stroke. You always start in the middle. When I divide the oval, there should be equal space between the halves. The second oval is amazing. You are getting it. It's just that it needs more practice. But as a beginner, it's a very it's very neat. Okay. The last stroke is entry stroke. Entry stroke is very, very easy. It's just a slanting line from bottom to top without any pressure. So I'll take this as my baseline. A and D. Your entry stroke should always start from the baseline. From here all the way to the top. And sometimes when you are writing letters, your entry stroke will start from the baseline and end in the mid of the letter. We'll see about this in detail when we are doing the alphabets. It's okay if it is different, it is not uniform. There are two more strokes which we'll be seeing later. Once you finish the entry stroke, we will move on to the letters, alphabets. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I'll take a fresh sheet. Now we'll be starting with alphabets. Before that, just a small heads up. I have separated the alphabets into 5 groups according to their stroke structure. So the first group has M, N, U, V, and W. The second group has A, E, I, O, and C. Third group has B, D, H, T, L, and K. Fourth group has G, J, Y, Z, P, and Q. Lastly, the final group is R, S, F, and X. If you see these letters, it will have underturn and overturn strokes. And these letters will have oval strokes. These letters have ascendant loop, which we'll be seeing later. This one will have descendant loop, same, we'll look into it later. And this one, it is a mixture of all the other strokes and very tricky letters. So that is why I've divided the alphabets into 5 groups so that it will be easy for you to understand each and every stroke better. We'll start with group 1. X, A, and B. I'll take 2x. I'll take 2 baseline and 1 ascendant line. The first group of letters will start in the baseline and end in the baseline. So we'll start with M. So for M, from the baseline, an entry stroke, all right. Again from the top, a downstroke, okay. And observe carefully here. From this point, I'm going to make a overturn with the slightest deviation, like this. Overturn, all right. Again, the same thing with a compound curve. A slight deviation, compound curve. All right. One more time. Entry stroke, downstroke, overturn, compound curve. One more time. Entry stroke, don't forget to extend your compound curves curve until this point, okay? One, two, three, four, 5, 6 and 7. So M is equal to entry stroke, downstroke, overturn, and compound curve. Okay. The formation is good, but the thing is, your compound curve and your overturn are should be better, because what I can see in your overturn is that you have created something like this. Here I can see a triangle, but what we need is an oval. So adjust the size of these two curves like this. For example, one second, you have made it like this, right? What I'm trying to tell you is adjust it like this so that there is equal spacing and oval spacing instead of triangular spacing. Can you try once? The end. You can make an outline with your pencil and then trace it out with your pen. That is also completely fine. The last M looks amazing. The last M. The only thing with the last M is that you have deviated a lot at this point. At this point, you have deviated a lot. If you reduce the space, it will look more perfect. That's it. Moving on, the next letter would be N. Can you try N on your own? I'll tell you how to do it. N is equal to entry stroke plus downstroke plus compound curve. Can you try? It is very similar to M. The only thing is you don't have to do the overturn. Amazing. Your first N looks amazing. Only thing is you have made one mistake and I want you to find out where. The mistake is about pressure. Yeah, you have to make a pressure there. Go once, okay? So A, X and X, entry stroke, downstroke, compound curve. One more time, entry stroke, downstroke, compound curve. Always remember, end your entry stroke at the middle of every letter. Next one is W A X X. So W is entry stroke. All right. Underturn. First underturn, second underturn, and a small underturn on top. One more time. Entry stroke, first underturn, second underturn, small underturn on top. Amazing. It looks very neat. It's a bit pointed, but with with the practice of your underturn, you'll get it. Okay. The next one is V. For V, it is same like underturn, but with a narrower space. So entry stroke, right? A narrow undertone, a pointed undertone, and a small undertone on the top. Entry stroke, narrow undertone, and a small undertone on the top.
Ma'am, this is you or we?
V. The last V looks amazing. Your downstroke is very perfect in your last V. Next one is U. I want you to try out the U. I'll tell you how to do it. So U is entry stroke plus underturn plus half underturn. You try this half underturn, we'll see. No, it looks like V. There should be some difference between V and U because this undertone is very narrow. Try making it with a pencil first, the original undertone, and then sketch it out with brush pen. Yes, amazing. Looks great. You can either do like that or entry stroke, undertone. Half undertone means this. Entry stroke, undertone, half undertone. You can either do like that or like this. It is totally up to you. So we are done with group 1 letters. You try putting everything, all the letters in the same line. I have a very thin brush pen. It is called as Tombow Fudanasu. So I'll use that to put everything in a single line. Starting with M, I'll just use one line. Entry stroke, downstroke, overturn, compound curve. Next is N, entry stroke, downstroke, compound curve. W, entry stroke, underturn, second underturn, and a small underturn. Next is V, entry stroke, narrow underturn, small underturn. Finally, U, entry stroke, underturn, half underturn. So this is all with group 1. Do you have any other doubt in group 1 letters or can we move on to group 2? Alright. I'll take a fresh page. Group 2 has all the vowels A, E, I, O and a C. Two baseline and ascending line. Okay. Starting with letter A. For A, entry stroke, okay, oval, okay, and a half undertone. For oval, if you start from this side, you can make this side, the right side of the oval thicker. If you start from this side, you can make the left side of the oval thicker. So once more, entry stroke, oval, half undertone. Okay. The last A looks good, but there's a slight problem. The problem is that your entry stroke looks great, your oval looks great. The only thing is the half undertone. Give some space. Give some space between the oval and half undertone. Okay, and make the stroke. While doing, make sure the center part of oval and center part of half undertone intersects with each other. Can you try the A one more time? Yes, you're getting it, but with more practice, you'll perfect it. Next one is O. For O, I want you to try it. O is nothing but entry stroke, all right, plus oval, okay, plus a small undertone, just as we did in W. At the right side center of the oval, you'll make this small uh, undertone. Yes, the first O, the oval is very neat. It's very perfect. You're using DOMs, right? How are you getting this thin of a stroke? All my
Tricks
things.
are working.
Okay, I'll make the O ones. Entry stroke, oval, and the small undertone. The next one is C. No, we'll make E. One second. Okay, we'll make E. For E, it is entry stroke, half oval, alright? And then join this stroke to this stroke. One more time. And also, one important thing to remember, if this is your stroke, the E stroke, make sure the exit stroke goes beyond this line. Okay. E one more time. Entry stroke, half oval, join this to this. Last E looks perfect. Next one is C. I'll tell you how to do the C. Entry stroke plus half oval is equal to C. Try this. First C looks good. It's the same math as this one. You have to extend the stroke beyond the line. That's it. I'll do the C. Entry stroke, half oval. Entry stroke, half oval. If you want, you can add a small dot here to make it a bit interesting. The last letter is I, and I also want you to try the I. I is entry stroke plus half undertone plus a dot. That is I. First I looks good, but if it will be better if you make it bigger and thicker. I'll do the I. Entry stroke, half undertone and a dot. Entry stroke, half undertone and a dot. So we are done with group 2. The last eye looks amazing. A, E, I, O, and C. We are done with group 2. We'll move on to the remaining two basic strokes that is very essential for the next set of letters, which is ascendant loop and descendant loop. Okay. So I'll mark this as baseline, baseline, and A. Here we are going to make the ascendant loop. So observe carefully from here, from this point, I'm going to try making an oval and come with a downstroke all the way down. An oval and a downstroke. So it simply looks like this. Zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure. Zero pressure, gradual increase in pressure, full pressure. This is called A loop or ascendant loop. Ascendant loop. The first one is perfect. It just needs a bit more correction, but the first one is perfect. The next one is descendant loop. Descendant loop is the mirror image of ascendant loop. So I mark two baseline and B. First one is X, second one is X, and the last one is D. Okay. From the baseline, full pressure, gradual decrease in pressure, zero pressure, stop. Full pressure, gradual decrease in pressure, zero pressure, stop. This is descendant loop. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. We still have 10 more minutes. We'll start with group 3 letters. Very easy letters we do. Okay. So this is ascendant loop and this is descendant loop. So here I'll mark 2x and 1a. Right. Group 3 has ascendant loop letters. So that is why we need ascendant line. Give me a second. Change my brush pens quickly. Starting with the letter H. So for H, I'm going to start with the baseline, entry stroke, okay, ascendant loop, all right, and a compound curve. One more time, entry stroke, ascendant loop. From this point, with a slight deviation, just like our N, we are going to make a compound curve. Okay. The loop can be bigger. The loop is very small. The loop can be bigger. Can you try once? Just remember, whenever you're doing the ascendant loop letters, either both the loop and the center part should be of the same size, or the loop should be bigger. It's the only two options. Okay. The middle part should not be bigger. Mm, can you extend the loop to one more line? The loop, ascendant loop, this loop. You have to extend this to one more line. Yeah, the last one looks good. All right. Next one is T. T is very, very easy. So from the baseline, entry stroke, elongated half undertone, and the sleeping line. This is T. Entry stroke, elongated half undertone. You can also add curves. Perfect. The second T is amazing, and the curve in third T is perfect. Okay, so we are officially done for the day. I hope you liked the session. I will see you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.